Welcome, Global Pet Expo virtual attendees 2021. My name is Chris Miller. I'm going to be your trainer this afternoon on pandemic retailing in the pet industry. We've all been experiencing this. I'm not going to tell you it's been easy, but it's been a challenging year, and we've been very blessed and lucky. Been designing retail stores for, 40 years now, and I actually did a session back in 2017 for Global Pet Expo on a brave new retail. And believe it or not, everything I told them back in 2017, we're dealing with it right now. We're dealing with apps. We're dealing with carryout service. We're curb service. We're dealing with extra deliveries. We're dealing with adding products and services and just all kinds of things to adjust to. Obviously, I didn't know there was going to be a pandemic and we have hand sanitizers on every end cap, but we a lot of the stuff is we covered back then, and I'm going to add a few things that probably don't know, and it's going to be something to think about how we're going to progress the rest of this year and into the following year. Who knows what's going to happen, what boot's going to drop tomorrow, but we just got to smile and dust ourselves off and keep plugging away. So thank you for attending and joining my session. I'm going to get started here. Basically, the state of retail, it's been on pretty much a roller coaster, to say the least. It's been very difficult for a lot of people, not knowing what's going to happen. And we've been very blessed, believe it or not, and lucky and fortunate. Things could have been way worse. The whole pet industry has been able to survive, except for the people that do boarding and travel related. But the industry as a general whole for retail has been pretty blessed. I mean, a lot of my stores are up 10% year to date, 2%, and continually to climb. They've been very, very lucky, and I'm glad I've been able to help some of them. We actually did some remodels during the pandemic, during the fires up in Portland, and people come into a fresh new environment and they're motivated and stimulated, and they tell people, and it's a wonderful thing that you can, take off the blinders and, really focus on what you can do and keep chugging away and keep chipping away at that big mountain, and you'll see the results. Retailing is not easy, and it's not getting any easier, but hopefully some of these tips will help you operate your business a little bit better this year. So, we've been in 2 decades of e-commerce. Believe it or not, it's been 20 years. And believe it or not, they've only been able to carve out 15% of the total retail shopping. And if you look at this chart that's put out by the government, you'll see in 2020, it just finally took a tick down. Now, that's kind of hard to believe. Everybody, thinks it's a lot more than that, but that's the truth of it. That's put up by the U.S. government. I just pulled it out of a chart online the day before yesterday. E-commerce during the pandemic was expected to increase 1% over the next 3 years till 2024. So they're still predicting over the next 3 years, they're going to get 3 more percent, and it's going to flatten out at that stage of the game. And the pandemic did, believe it or not, let me see if I can get this next slide to come up. It's lagging a little bit. Bear with me. Here we go. Yep. Anyways, the pandemic, believe it or not, increased 5%. It forced it 5% very, very quickly because of what happened. But the good news is we've all had to observe these obvious changes that we've all had to endure. Maintaining social distancing, floor markings, dots and arrows, barriers, windows, plastic screens, limited occupancy, supply chain issues, curbside delivery, carry-out service, deliveries, web orders, staff. Communication with customers has been difficult. Phones ringing off the hook. Reduced store hours. Everybody's had to deal with this and survive, and we're still here and we're still dealing. And it's only going to get better from here on. But I'd like you to really think about your store as a whole and look in on what's going on and see what we can do to take what we have and just maybe raise the bar a little bit and make it a little bit better shopping experience, and to promote to customers and to staff how we can create more consistency and more attention to what's going on in the retail environment. The shopping carts and baskets, we're seeing two lanes, one that are clean and one that are dirty. So it's very easy for customers to see that this has been used, this one's been cleaned. Easily done, just a couple of signs, but if you can do that, having a spray there in a bottle is one thing, but having somebody in charge of it's another thing. But clean and dirty, and you don't have to have somebody standing there, and they can be rotating through the store cleaning. It's a better visual, at least in my opinion. There's a lot of phones and handheld devices and things that are going on, and making sure that we sanitize with those COVID reminders and hand sanitation. When we've had to cut back on showing animals and touching animals and selling animals, and that's starting to come back around. Again, when we're bagging up feeders, where it's another touch points, boxes, switches, knobs, handles, ladders, brooms, refrigerators, sinks, coffee, all these touch points. It's overwhelming. And to get staff trained to do it on a consistent basis, make it important, and to let customers know is important too, so they feel comfortable. But I go into so many stores and they got plexiglass just in front of the cash register, but all the transition and talking is done to the side where they're actually pulling product, and there's no barrier there. So you need to have a barrier over the transactional space, or one that's on a 45 at least, so you can create a safer environment for both customer and the employee. So just thinking about how we can better for this next year, how we can just maybe add another piece or add another barrier, and making sure that we're well in stock with our cleaning. Some stores are announcing over the intercom, hey, it's 12 o'clock, time to do the big clean, and they're doing a big clean every hour. I don't know if you've noticed, and some of those retail stores are doing that. But it's occupying space in the customer's mind, telling them, hey, you're special, safety is important, and how can we continue and do a better job? Don't fall on the wayside. We want to keep getting better. The new shopper. We covered some of this back in 2017, but I'm sure you all forgot. But we've got a new shopper called the Neo shopper. And the Neo is basically, it's about 59 million people in the US and 6 million in Canada. And they look for authenticity, quality design, experience, and a path less traveled. So they want to be wooed. They want to be wowed. They want to have a different experience. And anything we can do to enhance that experience is going to bring in this shopper. So remember, there's other types of shoppers out there as well. The EEO shopper, the digital native audience. This is made up of people that are over 40, Gen X's and baby boomers. And the baby boomers, which I'm a part of now, is more than 25% of the population in 2016. It's probably closer to 28 or 29% right now. That's almost a third of the population that's a baby boomer over 60. And they have high disposable income. They're very smart shoppers, and they like to be taken well care of. And I'll tell you, don't forget about those shoppers when they come to your store. And then the digital native audience is under 30. They're Gen Ys and Gen X millennials in this iGen era. And, they're a different shopper all in themselves. They're constantly on their handhelds, and it's a growing part of the market. QR codes and, app driven and all that, but they're not going away. and they're going to become the new norm as things proceed. But understanding your shopper. So, we're going to talk about new shopping studies, types of competition, how to differentiate yourself in the marketplace by creating a better shopping environment that's going to be able to address the pandemic issues, and along with retailers what they want. So this is some of the stuff we talked about in 2017, and it's all come true. Having a mobile checkout, having an app or a handheld that you can actually walk out to the car, ring it up and put it in there, or personal shoppers. People come in and they walk them around, or they give you a list and you go in and get it and come out to the car. But alternative payment options with the different apps that you can have. Frequent buyer apps or a pre-pick order. So let's say somebody's got a specialty dog food that they special order, but a lot of stores like Amazon, they'll have an automatic fulfillment. So when 3 weeks go by, you got another bag, and you get a phone call, you're going to get a text that we got it in, and it's going to be in the special order book. Several of my stores are very successful with this. They're 3 to 5 orders a day, and at 20 to 30 minutes, it's going to be pretty interesting. How much more you can do during that time frame. And then our future of our ongoing pandemic retailing is automatic touch entry power doors. You want to have a purification system, HEPA and UV. Set sanitizer dispensers at key points, an app for frequent buyers, pre-pick, better protection and barriers, use of UV wands, and set transactional space. Promote your customers at what you're doing and what makes you different, and make sure they understand that you're safe and wanted. So tip number 1, bring something to the party and be value added. So real time, new technology, software that can help you with your stores. Ring at the cash register, handheld curbside, handheld pickup in store, and handheld web orders or offsite events. So if you can find a way that have real-time software tie in to your store with your live inventory, it's going to be a phenomenal software to make sure that you have. So many people are on 3 different systems, and this has to go there and that has to go there. One system does it all. And then when you go shopping for your next POS system in your inventory control, you want to get something that handles all of those different areas. All right, fun masks. Just a tip, make it fun. Like a good neighbor, stay over there, try something different. We used to do Crazy Hat Day, and they get a 5% discount if they came in with a crazy hat. They come in with a crazy mask, Crazy Mask Day. Make it fun. Do something different. Some of the apps, real important. There's a scheduling app called Setmore. You can set up curbside pickup, repairs, grooming app, one-on-one shopping. An app that's been been very used in the retail industry. It's a great app to consider that can help your business. Bowtie is a software app that's AI based, and it can actually answer the phone for you, listen for key notes, key questions, and answer via voice, text, or email. So you can free up your staff to do other things other than the what are your store hours, or what's going on, how do I schedule a curb pickup, things like that. So Bowtie is another software app that's retailers have been taking advantage of. Asana creates a to-do list with all your team members. And the nice thing about this Asana program is if somebody's overloaded with tasks, everybody can see everybody's list. And if somebody's needs help with their list, other people can jump in and fill in. So it's a live list, get it done type of app that you can keep your social distancing, along with delegating tasks within the store and offsite of the store as well, with different workloads. And then I think it's called Client Book. This is where web chat, you can go off your handheld and you can be anywhere and be able to help people on the web to redirect them to certain purchases and services. So stay relevant, send thank you notes to customers, be different. I can't overemphasize that, those touch points, and create a fanatical base. It's really going to help you. So I'd like you to write down 1 or 2 things you learned in the session as you're going to promise yourself and go back and do in your store, and become a better pandemic retailer, at least for a year or so. And hopefully it's going to be shorter than longer, and we don't have any new shoes to drop. So write down 1 or 2 things that you learned in the session that you promise you're going to self and go back and implement in your store. Would be a great thing to do. And then I also want to invite you to stop by my virtual booth at the Global Pet Expo 2021. And if you have any questions, concerns on any of this stuff, I'd be happy to help you out. No charge. If you want to set up a phone appointment, or at least let us help you in the future, we'd love to have you help. So I'd like to thank you for shopping at Global Pet Expo, and you have a great show. Thanks.